Welcome to the Called to Defend podcast, where, unlike Peter, we are aiming to keep our eyes on the Lord. I'm Caleb, this is Josh, and we are deciding to do something a little different this time. We're going to try video alongside the podcast audio.
Just testing waters. That was a weird choice of words, but just testing things.
But crash.
Okay, you know what? It's just kind of like an idea, it's I love what we're doing with this, but I'm just wondering, I want to die more.
Yeah.
I love what we're doing,
To live is Christ, to die is gain.
Oh my gosh. I love what we're doing with this podcast. I'm wondering for our YouTube viewers if a video to go along with it, if it would be better for them versus, our podcast listeners, they're not going to see the video, but
right.
For our YouTube viewers, if this would be a better format, or if they like the audio format, we'll kind of see. We'll try this like maybe once or twice, see if people like this better. We'll put a poll out. So last week we were in Matthew 14 and we didn't finish because it was a lot there.
Yeah. It's a very, very deep passage.
Yeah, like stuff that thematically I remember kind of being more aware of before already. And then you kind of found some things in the Greek that I was like, that has so many more layers. Yeah. I was not ready for that at all, especially the torturing of the waves and the adversary of the wind.
Yeah.
I have those moments by myself. I'm going through the Hebrew where someone like shows me something in Hebrew. Then I kind of want to share those moments with other people and I hope like I get those. But with the Greek, it was definitely like, yeah, it's one of those moments right now where it's like, dang, so much here.
Yep.
And then the ego I me, I don't know why they choose to translate it that way. There's probably some reason. I wish they just kept it as I am because they did it elsewhere. But we left off at what, 28, I think it was?
Yes.
Left off at Peter's response.
28.
So could you recap a little bit of where we're at right now with some of the things we talked about last week?
Yeah. So we started the section of Jesus walking on the water with Jesus sending the disciples and then Jesus going up onto the mountain alone. Right. And that's the importance of that phrase, going up onto the mountain, because it's a repeated theme throughout the Jewish Bible. And then Matthew is appealing to that for his Jewish audience, saying, hey, this phrase. This means something divine is about to happen. And he also starts to set that up linguistically, building towards the transfiguration. Because he's using the same phraseology as Moses and Elijah. And then who was at the transfiguration? It's Moses and Elijah. And then we went on to talk about, as you mentioned, the torture of the waves of the storm, really more so. But obviously the waves are part of the storm. And how it was, quote unquote, torturing the boat, and how he's like, that was kind of weird for us to think of like an inanimate object being tortured. But of course, it's the people inside the boat.
That's why they grammatically choose beaten or like beating the boat, knowing that is implying that the people in the boat specifically, that sure that they translate that one grammatically, but it's the people that are being tortured.
Yeah. And then going from there, you mentioned as well the wind being an adversary.
Yeah.
And how it's that idea of chaos, and it's that idea of adversarialness that we kind of see also with discussions of Satan.
Sure.
And so it's this very Genesis 1-3 idea that's present in this little section here. And then we have a reinforcement of Genesis 1, where God is again over the waters.
Mm-hmm.
And Jesus walks on the sea. And it's kind of funny how the disciples think he's a ghost, right? They're very much in this mindset of we are going to die.
Yeah.
I have to think some of them seeing a ghost thought, oh, wow, we are dead now.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. They're like, oh, we're in Hades.
Yep.
We're done.
This is Hades, right? And then Jesus, of course, uses the divine name for himself.
Yeah.
And he says, have courage, don't be afraid. I am.
Right. That's where we left off, because we talked about something like the idea that chaos has no effect on God. The closest it does is an impact on us because he loves his creation, he loves his people. And then we talked about some of the things that people might be going through, whether they've just spiritual chaos, emotional chaos, something physical, something mental, and how there's some people who's like all they've ever experienced is chaos, even as Christians. That's just it's just kind of their world. But take heart because he is, which
Right.
plays kind of a bit into what Peter is about to go through.
Yeah.
In some capacity.
For sure. And so why don't we jump into that?
Yeah. 28, Peter answered him, Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water.
So that's an interesting statement.
Mm-hmm.
Why does Peter say, if it is you? Right? Especially when he says, Lord.
Mm-hmm.
He addresses the figure that is coming towards them as Lord. I find that interesting that he says, Lord,
Yeah.
if it is you.
Got a little bit of doubt.
There is, but there's that recognition.
Right.
And
it's like it's Lord, but I'm not totally certain. Like it's like, think it's you. I'm not totally certain it's you because they also think that it might be a ghost.
Yeah, but then he uses that phrase, command.
Yeah.
Right? Not tell, not ask, not invite. Command me. Right, so you get that initial word of Lord.
Yeah.
Kurie.
Yeah.
Followed up by this idea of command.
Right.
Now, by this point, the disciples have seen Jesus command the wind and the waves. Here we have Peter using the same word. Command me. I find that extremely interesting. That Peter is using this word of complete and total submission to Christ.
Yeah.
And that is something that we often don't talk about, is that word command.
Mm-hmm.
And how the wind and the waves were completely and totally subject to Jesus. Peter is saying, I am completely and totally subject to you. Lord, if it's you, command me. And so you kind of see the dichotomy. It's a little bit of spoiler here of, the recognition of Lord and command me, but also that little bit of doubt. And that little bit of doubt is going to come into play.
Yeah. All within that one statement of that, Lord, if it is you, command me. He's commanded, but there's still that level of doubt within there. Because he's like still wrapping his mind around all of this. Like, I want to kind of like recognize he's like, what the heck is this? What is it?
Yeah.
But also like, if you know what it is, if you have an idea what it is, why are you doubting now?
Exactly.
Especially when you're like in the middle of the sea, which we'll see in a second, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I find it interesting. His request is not, come to us.
Yeah.
His request is, command me to go out onto the water with you.
Command me to walk as you walk.
Command me to walk as you walk.
I'm just thinking like all the different times where like the apostles say like, we can do this thing with you, or like we can do this. And so often he's like, no, you can't, or you're going to, like the suffering, you're going to suffer, like I will.
Yeah.
Or you will never experience it the same way I will.
Right. We have this snapshot. Right. We know from the Old Testament that only God is in control of chaos.
Yeah.
And only God walks on the water.
Mm-hmm.
So for Peter to then say, God, I want to do it too. Lord, I want to do it too. If it's you, command me to come out onto the water. And then Jesus allows him. Right? What Peter is asking is no small thing.
Yeah, no. Because
he's asking to defy the laws of nature themselves.
Yeah. And like Jesus is doing it because he is divine.
Right.
Peter would be doing it because he is. Because trusting in the divine.
Right. Jesus is doing it because Jesus is divine. Peter is doing it because Jesus is divine.
Yeah. That's effectively all that's going on there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but it's interesting then that, Peter later in his epistles writes that we have participation in the divine nature. I doubt this was the thing on his mind when he wrote that, but it's kind of funny to see that he is about to participate effectively in the divine nature
Yeah.
at his request, and
As
God
request,
allows it.
it kind of ties into not the exact same thing, but we've talked about a while ago about sometimes even like good or bad, evil even. Sometimes our request is of something,
Mhm.
and God still allows like, okay, you want this. Well, here you go. Like in Genesis 6, you want chaos. Okay, well here you go.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to walk as I walk. You want to see what it's like. Okay,
Yeah.
you can try, and know that if you fail, it's not because I failed.
Right. Yeah. No, I do appreciate that God gets along great. I shouldn't say this because he was a very staunch atheist, but gets along great with H.L. Mencken, whose famous quote is, "Democracy is the theory that the common man knows what he wants and deserves to get it good and hard."
Were you saying that? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's, I find that quote to be very, very true in a lot of circumstances, right? Especially outside of politics and especially here, in scripture, where, as you were just saying, God's saying, "Oh, you want chaos? Well, you'll get it good and hard."
Like you want to experience, like you want me to take my hands off?
Mm-hmm.
Here's what's like with my hands off. You're like,
Yep.
oh, a flood that just destroyed the entire cosmos. Okay. Yep. Or like, oh, I get to walk on water like my Lord. Awesome. And it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Guess I'm jumping ahead a lot right now.
You are, but that's okay. That's okay. The last thing I want to point out there is the fulfillment of Jesus' words in the Sermon on the Mount, which is, "If you ask for it in my name, it shall be given to you."
Yeah.
I find that interesting. Peter asks in his name, and it is given to him.
It says, "Lord, if it is you, command me." It's like, all right.
Right. And it is that submission, "Lord, command me." It's your will.
Yeah. It's this interesting thing where Christ is allowing Peter to come on the water, but it's also his will and desire for Peter to come out on the water.
Right.
Because there's something here for him and the other apostles to be learning about who he is, who they are, and their need for God and for the power that Christ has and who he is. It's all bundled into this one moment. He's like, my desire is that you do ask me and that I allow this thing to happen because of what it will teach you.
Right.
But also, you think you know what you want. And I hope you realize that this is what it's going to be like.
Yeah. And that applies to so many different situations in life.
So many.
All right. Least of all, salvation.
Yeah.
Right? God desires for us to be saved. Peter, in his epistle, states that.
Yeah.
God allows us to make free will choices. Now, I'll irritate some Calvinists here, but one of those free will choices is to accept God's desire for us to be saved. I love how much is just packed into here. Where we get, we get the recognition of divine will.
Yeah.
And we get the recognition of God allowing something, even in accordance with his will.
Yeah.
Right? It's a beautiful picture of the Christian relationship with God.
Well, this entire passage, we were talking about this in like our class everyone will see starting this Wednesday. We started Chaos Monsters class. Like just one of our sisters that was there, she was going on about, there's just so many passages that we just kind of like go through. Like they're just very familiar to us. Maybe just because they're very like popular. And we kind of just go through it and it's like whatever. You feel like you're kind of just treading along. And then you just kind of find that one little spot, you're like, I want to look into this a bit more. And you're like, you just deep dive and you're like collapsing. You're like, oh my goodness, there's so much more here.
That's why I've been in Hosea for 3 years.
I know. That's why I'm in Genesis 1 for 5.
Right.
Like today, like at the time we're recording this, we were talking about stuff in Genesis 1 and they're like, I've never thought about that. And it's like, yeah, why do you think they don't mention these things like in this verse right here, or they
Right.
mention this in place? Same thing here. There's so much just layered in. You have the mountain, you have the torture, you have the adversary, you have the walking over, you have the Lord command me, you have the ego I me, all the implications that play into it. It is a layered passage, and it's a shame that it kind of become more like almost like a party trick passage. Like, oh look, Jesus is
Yeah,
walking on
exactly.
water.
Jesus walked on water. Isn't that cool? Anyways, moving on.
And pop culture reference now, but it's not like
Right.
all this layers, like from the Hebrew background, from the Greek grammar, and just like to stop and thinking about it. It's like, Lord, if it is you, command. So much is just there. It's wild stuff.
Yeah.
Verse 29. He said, come. So Peter got out of the boat and walked on the water and came to Jesus. Oh, okay, you might have other thoughts. I think this is interesting.
What's that?
I've never caught this. So we've been mentioned before, it specifically talks about Jesus walking on the sea.
Yes.
It just says Peter walks on the water. I don't know if there's a difference in the Greek there. I just kind of caught that.
I
There's a
haven't
word
looked at it
choice.
at all.
It could be the translation. Let me see here. Hydata?
For the word water. So I would, my thoughts on
Hudata?
Yeah.
Hudata, sorry.
So hudata.
Hudata.
And that is Peter and Christ walks on the Losses. There's a difference.
There's a difference.
Interesting. I've never picked up on that before.
I just caught that now. Even when I'm prepping for this, I didn't catch that. It was just now because I'm thinking so much about Genesis 1 earlier.
So perhaps it's a statement that we can only handle so much chaos.
I was thinking about that too. Like, there's a word choice there. And the last time we talked about a major word choice difference was God's presence over the water. And if we're tying to what you're saying, Jesus is walking on the sea, walking through the storm, the chaos.
Yeah.
The only reason Peter's able to walk on the water is because of Jesus, of which he can't really experience it the way Christ does. So like he's asking to come out in such a way, but Matthew's even pointing out Peter is, but isn't really experiencing what it's like to be Christ. Like he's experiencing it, but he's experiencing it because God allows it and because God is providing a way for him to do it.
Right.
But not because he can do it.
Well, and it's very interesting to me that Jesus doesn't calm the storm.
No, he doesn't.
When Peter gets out.
No, that's a different passage. Just when he was asleep in the boat, he calms it. Like
no, I know, but I'm saying like he could have.
Yeah, of course.
He could have calmed it for Peter, and Peter could have walked on the still water.
Yeah.
But he doesn't.
No.
He lets Peter, as we have talked about so many times through this, he lets Peter walk through chaos.
Yeah.
He lets Peter experience, as you've been talking about, the fraction of what God holds back.
Jeez. Just more layers.
And so I think we pick on Peter in this passage.
Oh, yeah.
Right? When he takes his eyes off of Jesus and starts to sink.
Sinking into chaos, into the storm.
Right. And we all like to think that we would have kept our eyes on Jesus. Not a single one of us would.
I hate hypotheticals. People say, what would you do? It's like, I know what I'd like to do.
I know what I would do, and it's not what I would like to do.
Yeah. I even refrain. I know what I'd like to do, and I have an idea of what I would do. It is not what I'd like to do. But even then, there might be even a worse option, or maybe even a better option I have not even considered until that moment hits.
Right.
But yeah. But it's all Jesus replies is with, come.
Yeah.
He's like, command me. All right, come.
Here, boy.
And then he steps out onto the Hudata,
and
is completely because the divine is intervening here for him to do so. Of which, like, as you're saying, like the second he takes his eye off, which we'll see in a minute, he descends into the sea, into the chaos. His ability to stay above the chaos, stay out of falling in, is if his eyes are completely on the Lord, which, thinking of an application pointer here, if your eyes on the Lord, doesn't mean you won't face trials. You might be walking through a storm.
Sure.
But you might not sink through it. But if your eyes come off the Lord, you most certainly will sink through it. Like, God might bring you through it to like the refining fire that's talked about by Paul. But if your eyes are most certainly off him, you will in fact sink. And it won't be like you're going through a refining fire. It will be like you are descending and sinking into chaos. And the only one who can get you out
is God.
I got chills, man.
Yeah.
This entire passage has just been giving me chills the past last week and this week.
Mm-hmm.
And there's still more here. There's this verse and the next few verses.
Oh, yeah.
My goodness. Matthew does not pull punches here.
No, he doesn't.
No.
This is anybody reading this in Matthew's time would
fully understand
what he's saying.
Yeah.
And likely, given that he's writing to Jews, would have been seething.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, it's one of those things, I say it so many times and you said so many times, it's one of those things where, like, we read it with a very much our cultural perspective. Mm-hmm. And that's why it's turned into this pop cultural magic trick type of thing. I don't mean to demean it, but that's kind of like how we treat it.
Right. No, you're right about that, though.
But then when we get back into that, I'm going to say Jewish, but even if you don't dive deep into the Jewish, just Old Testament understanding,
right?
You just start seeing these things. There's this unfortunate thing where we do need to look back in the Old Testament, some New Testament. I mean, Jesus does that in the book of Luke, but we do that far more than we ever do with the Old Testament to the New Testament. Yeah. And this is like riddled with Genesis 1 through 11 on repeat, plus Exodus and King's passage regarding the prophets ascending the mountain, and then later passage with
1 Kings 19.
Yeah, 1 Kings 19, and then also with Jesus and the Transfiguration, as you've been talking about. It's just layered with so many references that we kind of act like the only time the Bible refers to the Old Testament is when it directly quotes it and it tells you,
right? Versus
when it just implies it because it expects that you know it. Mm-hmm. And this is a passage that fully expects that you know your Old Testament.
Very much so. Yeah. And then on the subject there of the Transfiguration, we haven't really talked about it much, but this is still building to it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Peter is experiencing a little bit of the chaos that God holds back.
Yeah.
Come the Transfiguration, he will experience a little bit of the glory that Christ has given up to incarnate.
Yeah.
Right. So again, you have the two sides of this coin, right? Christ is saying, I will allow you in accordance with my will to experience some of this chaos. Not much. You can't handle all of it, but just a little bit.
Experience the hudara.
You experience the hudara, but not the thalases. Right? Not the abuson.
No.
Similarly, you will experience just a little bit of the dotse. That's glory in Greek. You'll experience a little bit of that.
Yeah.
The dotsa, excuse me. I can't show you it all because you would die. As he tells Moses.
You can't see. You're going to die.
Yeah. I will let you see my back, not my face. In other words, you're not going to see all of me.
Yeah.
You're not going to see my whole glory. You would die.
Can't handle it.
Cannot handle it. Which really, I makes me appreciate the book of Ezekiel all the more.
Oh, yeah.
Because, again, I have said it many times. There is one human being that I want to meet twice. Ezekiel pre-vision and Ezekiel post-vision.
Pre-chapter 1 and post-chapter 1?
Exactly. And not even necessarily chapter 1, all of it.
That's fair.
Right? Like,
just the sheer amount of
pre-chapter 1, post-chapter 48.
One of the, I would argue, is one of the harder books in the Bible.
Definitely.
Period. It's like top, in my opinion, top 3, one of the hardest ones.
Yeah.
It's just so difficult. But it's
funny because it informs so much of Revelation.
I know.
Everybody loves to run to, and it's like, guys, you are missing so much background and context here from the book of Ezekiel that John is pulling so heavily from.
Revelation is pulling so much from the Old Testament, especially Ezekiel and Genesis. Like, it is just yanking on those. Like, hey, remember this?
Yeah.
No? Go read it. Oh, man. Yeah. No, that the whole idea of that little bit that he's experiencing, because we don't know how far he gets out there. He gets out enough that when he does begin to sink, he's not like he can reach out and grab the boat.
Right.
Like, he definitely seems to have gone a little bit of a ways. But it's not like he's walked the whole sea like Christ has been walking.
He is within reaching distance of Christ.
Yeah.
Because Christ reaches in and saves him.
Right.
But he's not all the way there.
No.
Because if he were all the way there, he wouldn't have sunk.
But when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried out, Lord, save me. Can we keep going, or we need to stop there?
I think we should stop there and talk about this one as well.
All right.
We're not going to get through any one verse without
we're not
talking about it.
But I've been really appreciating. I was telling you this earlier. I've been really appreciating our reformat of this podcast because it has gotten us to do more of a Bible study together. That's not like us teaching; is us just talking about this stuff. But we can go at our own pace.
You're welcome.
We can go at our own pace too. And we're one of those people like we want to kind of dissect each of the verses, not to like rip it apart. But like, hold up. What did you just say? What did you just say?
So much more here.
And I'm really appreciating the whole new lens of even just this passage.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't use abuson, but the entire thing is referencing the abuson, the tahom. And we're going to get next episode to abuson passages. Because we're going to get into our next series a little bit after this. But this is, man, I've been really appreciating us going through this slower.
Definitely. So what's interesting to me here is a little bit of a more technical thing, I guess. The phrase, and beginning to sink.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm going to butcher this word just so we are all aware.
Oh, that's a gross word.
You're looking at it.
I'm looking at it right now.
The one where it's like 29 letters long. Katapon Zesthai. Yes.
Dude, I had a Hebrew word I was looking at earlier because we had someone in the comment section that was trying to engage with our apologetic stuff. And the one they want to argue over, I was like, do you want to go over that Hebrew word? Do you know how long that Hebrew word is?
It's like, there's a couple of Greek words like that.
I was like,
I look at
why?
it and like, no.
Like, why?
So that word there is kind of this weird, like, ham-fisted mismatch of a word that, like, it wouldn't really be a word.
Is it kind of like a conjugation of sort?
Kinda.
Okay.
Because it's the word itself in this context would mean beginning to sink.
Right.
That's not really a word in Greek. That's not that's not a verb that they use that often, of beginning to sink.
Right.
So they just kind of like shoved some words together.
Okay, so
like, this is a word now. But what's most interesting to me is within that word is the word ponti. You remember?
Yeah. Pontos.
Pontos. See.
Right. The word that you said is usually more in the mythological other texts, like the Greek mythologies.
Yeah. And ponti specifically there would be probably dative in its casing.
Yeah. Okay.
Which would be positional. So it'd be like with or in. So the idea here is he is in. Right. And it seems obvious.
Into the water.
It seems obvious. Yeah, duh, he's sinking into the water. But the purpose there is like this concept of he is fully enveloped in the sea.
Right. Like, it's not even like he's just like we're talking about like he's beginning to sink. So like obviously like your feet are going in, but like when you sink, you don't really just go nice and slow. You're like, bam, you're in.
Yeah.
And then you're treading, you're trying not to be falling down. But if we remember, like the whole, like the waves are torturing the boat. So if you're not in the boat, in this little vessel, and like this,
Right.
it's not an ark, but like this,
It's acting.
it's acting like their ark-ish
Yes.
before
Mhm.
Jesus gets there. And it's not a good one. It's like a man-made ark, which I know Noah made his own ark by the guidance of God.
Right.
But he has no protection. And then you add the adversarial wind.
Yes. Which we'll get to that in a little bit.
But like, he's not just like he just sank in the water. Now he's like treading water, like, hey, someone help me. He's like, he's being like beaten over the waves. He's getting slapped with wind. There's probably rain. Other parts of the storm are like just completely making it hard for him to breathe.
Thunder and lightning, very, very frightening.
Yeah. Very hard to really be floating in a way that's not exhausting, where you could easily just drown, because even if you're treading water, the waves are just drowning you, which, like, if we take the whole chaos idea, which, not to move this entirely into a myth of like it's not really him in the water, but like playing into the both, like what the water could represent, like chaos is not like it just like, hey buddy, it's like pounding you over. It's like trying to drown you out because its desires for you to die.
Yeah.
It just desires for you to be completely destroyed, completely back into disorder, that there is no order, there is no creation, there is no filling, there's none of that.
Yeah. And so, again, when we pick on Peter in this passage, we have to remember what exactly is happening here.
What exactly is happening here, and how we are very much likely to be doing the exact same thing.
Absolutely. But the force here, it doesn't say, it buries the word sea in there in a weird way. But the operative word to me here is anemon.
Okay.
Right. So ton anemon, the wind. That's what gets Peter. It's not the rain. It's not thunder or lightning. It's not even the sea itself. It's
when he sees
wind.
And wind is not something you can really see. So there's definitely something else happening here with the wind. Because, like, you feel wind. You see wind's effect on things. But you don't see wind.
But he says, blepon ton anemon, which would be when he sees the wind.
That's weird.
It's very weird.
The question is, like, for me, is like, what exactly is he saying? Is it just like how stormy it is? Is he seeing something else that Matthew is like, I can't describe it any other way but wind? Like we saw in Mark in that one passage where Jesus used the same vocabulary of like the unclean spirits or the evil spirits towards the wind and the water. Is it something like that? Or is it just the chaos water?
Well, if I can do another thing here, could you read that phrase in the English for me? The whole like first phrase there.
Verse 30?
Yes.
But when he saw the wind, he was afraid and began to sink. He cried out, Lord, save me.
Yours says when he saw the wind.
This is the ESV, yes.
Okay.
I can switch another version though if you like.
Because some versions will say when he sees how strong the wind is.
Let's see. What verse was it? 31?
30.
Here's the NIV. Nope. When he saw the wind. Let's see.
HCSB, I know, does it.
Let's see. I'm going to try a couple others. NASB, but seeing the wind. Okay. So it might be, let's see, you said HCSB?
Yes.
But when he saw the strength of the wind, he was afraid.
I don't like that translation.
Don't like the HCSB translation? Why did you go hunting for it?
Because I want to make a point there. Some Greek manuscript copyists will add in a word there.
Sure. Not uncommon for some spots to do that.
Sure.
Almost like a commentary type of thing.
They will add the word iskouros, which is strong, mighty, powerful, of strength, etc. That's not what the text says.
So
it doesn't say he saw the strength of the wind and was scared.
He saw the wind.
Saw the wind.
So I don't remember. Do you know if the HCSB, you might not know, do you know if they were translating with the copies that had that and that was just they were just following that?
I don't know.
Or do you think they were influenced by that?
I have no idea.
It's an interesting thing. I'm wondering what exact copies they were working with. It was interesting. Maybe that was influenced. Maybe they were just copying it down. But the older ones don't have that in there, which is why probably your more standard ones don't include that at all. NIV, NASB, ESV, etc.
Yeah, no, but I wanted to go there to talk about specifically why do they include the strength of the wind versus going with what the text actually says.
Right.
And that this is, in some sense, inserting that modern understanding into the text. where it's not about Peter seeing the chaos, right? And it's funny. Matthew chooses the one thing that you can't see, the wind.
You see effects of wind.
Right. But I would say, at the very least, my guess would be it's to hammer home exactly how chaotic and strong this is. That Peter can even see the wind. He can see something that you normally can't. That's the level of chaos that he is in right now.
Yeah. This was before he started sinking too.
And it's before he started singing.
He sees the wind. Whatever
that means.
Whatever that means. Whether it's like he is so strong, he sees something spiritual, some kind of mixture, whatever that entails.
Mm-hmm.
He sees something that Matthew describes as the wind. Freaks him out. And now his eyes are off the Lord and he's drowning.
Sinking.
It's not like he's like gradually going down. He's like, boom. That's because that's how sinking works. It's not like God's like, I'm going to ease you in.
Exactly.
I'm going to ease you into this. It's like, no.
It's the moment that you get focused on the chaos.
The moment you take your eyes off the Lord as the one who is helping you walk through it or over it or whatever, however he's having you go through it, whether it be by an ark, by dry land and moving the waters, or by him having you walk on it with him. Your eyes come off. You're going down. Going down. Which is, man, how often does that happen to us in our own lives?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dang. No, I would never have caught that. Maybe not never. I probably wouldn't have caught that as quickly. The wind thing. How do you see wind? Yeah. It's crazy.
But then it's funny to me that immediately Peter cries out, "Save me."
Yeah.
I know I goofed up. I need your help again.
He was afraid. He began to sink. He cried out, "Lord, save me." So he sees, he's sinking. Lord, I need your help here. Also, here's the thing too. It's no longer if it is you. It is just straight up, Lord, it is you. Save me. If you brought me out here, you can pull me out. I think it's a small detail, but props to Peter for not just like now, he's not in a place of doubting. I mean, he just calls him out for his doubting because he took his eyes off. But the second he goes down, he recognizes my eyes were off the Lord, and it wasn't potentially the Lord. It was the Lord.
Right.
And only he can get me out.
Yeah.
Props that in that moment, he's like, the one thing that kept me afloat was that guy, was God, was Jesus. And now I'm down here. I know exactly what I did wrong.
Yeah.
But Jesus also was like, I know you know, but why did you do it?
So let's talk about that.
Verse 31. Jesus immediately reached out his hand and took hold of him, saying to him, "Oh, you of little faith, why did you doubt?"
I like that you emphasized immediately there.
I did. I did do that on purpose.
Yeah.
Because there was no hesitation on Jesus.
Not at all.
It wasn't like, maybe I'll help you, or
here, learn your lesson first.
Well, it's kind of like how we sometimes treat people with the gospel, where we're like, clean yourself up first,
and then I'll tell you.
And then I'll tell you about the gospel. And it's like, no, I will not accept you. I will not permit you to stay where you are, but I will accept you where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
I will pull you out where you're at. But I'm not going to permit you to stay there. I'm going to tell you to go and sin no more.
Yeah.
But I will
Jesus
pull
doesn't put him back in the water after he saves him.
He's like, I will pull you out if you call my name. Just don't stay. Don't stay.
Yeah.
Because then you're going to sink again. Mm-hmm. But yeah, immediately, Jesus did not hesitate. The second he said, Lord, help me, bam, got him. Man.
So I realized that obviously Jesus is God incarnate.
Yeah.
And his power is infinite. It says he reached out his hand. Singular.
Bam! Bam!
Get over here!
Can you imagine if you go to Scorpion? Oh my goodness.
What a moment to do it. But no, it's
I'm imagining him doing that to the devil, actually.
When
he's exercising people.
Yeah. No, it's interesting to me that, right, in order to save Peter, what does Jesus have to do?
He reached out his hand
He reaches his hand, but where does he have to reach it into?
into the water,
He has to dip into the chaos for him.
which is the very thing that Jesus does for us.
Right.
Which I'm
This is a microcosm of the incarnation.
it's the incarnation and the crucifixion.
Right.
I am so excited when we get there in the chaos water and the chaos monsters discussion about how Jesus, in becoming incarnate, becoming like us, descends into the very thing that he came to pull us from.
Right.
And it's like, that's a thing that was never really taught to me regarding the gospel. It was always, you screwed up, you gotta be saved. Do I disagree with that? No, but the extra nuance, there's more nuance there. It's not merely just like, hey, God's mad at you, I'm gonna take you out.
Exactly.
There is something that he's saving you from. And it's not just the wrath and justice. There's something he's pulling you from because of the thing that took us away, or that we've given ourselves over to.
Right. And of course, given that this is a microcosm of salvation,
Yeah.
it also gives us a little bit of a picture of what hell is like.
Yeah. Interesting.
And that's so to kind of I think we'll talk about that later, actually. I think we'll talk about that
Okay.
after verse 32.
Okay, cool.
But we're not quite done with verse 31 yet.
Oh yeah, no, we just looked at it immediately.
Right.
And reached on his hand with
There's one hand.
I get it, he's incarnate, but come on.
I
one
know.
hand? My
Yep.
gosh.
But then we have that beautiful phrase, ye of little faith,
Why
why
did
do
you
you doubt?
Which, again, Peter knows what he did wrong because he knew who to go back to immediately.
Right.
This is, again, a Genesis moment. Genesis 3. Where are you? He knows where. He knows why he doubted. Was that
Rhetorical question?
Was that rhetorical question to cause reflection? Why did you doubt? Why did you take your eyes off me? I don't know, Lord. Well, now you know what it's like.
Yeah.
Are you going to do that again? Don't want
Probably.
to. I don't want to. I probably will. I don't want to.
Yeah.
But think like how quickly he was distracted by that wind. We're so we don't know like how much time has passed during this whole thing. But it at least reads like bam, quick.
Yeah.
How quickly our eyes just flee off. And he's like, why? Why'd you do it? And sometimes we have an answer. Sometimes we're like, I honestly don't know. I was scared. Why were you scared? Because it's terrifying, that wind. Do you not realize I'm greater than the wind?
Yeah. Exactly. And I would think in that moment it'd be kind of do you realize it didn't affect me at all?
Do you realize that I walked through it? I walked over it.
I walked there to get here.
And I had no struggle.
Right.
Why did you doubt me? And it's one of those, it's such a dumb moment. Like, duh. And yet, why do we do it?
Yeah.
Why do we take our eyes off when we know? We know, and yet our eyes come off so quickly. Why did you doubt, you little faith? And that faith, I wish, maybe you can correct me on this, I wish it was trust a little bit in terms of faith. And I know it probably wouldn't match up the grammar as cleanly.
Right.
But almost like why'd you stop trusting me? Why did you doubt? So I know.
Well, and I think doubt there can be multifaceted.
Yeah. But I guess because I know pistis can be referring to trust and faith, which trust is something that you kind of give to someone.
Right.
Not like
as is faith, but faith is more something. I would say faith is more inward, trust is more outward.
Sure. Trust, yeah. I mean, because trust kind of starts inward and it comes outward.
Right.
And Peter's moment here is both an inward and outward thing.
Right.
Because he turns and looks away. And he loses faith. He loses trust. And so, I don't know.
I'd like to thank my Bible app for crashing just now.
Your Bible just crashed right now?
Yeah, I fired it back up, but it's like, well.
I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, there's times where I see a text and I understand grammatically, or things like, I get why you're doing this. I kind of wish it was if it was like one of those like transculturations or the NLTs, I could see someone translate like, "Why did you cease to trust me?"
Right.
Because that's effectively what's being
More
said here.
functional, yeah.
Why did you cease to trust me here? And not just you have little faith, because it's the right words. I understand
Right.
what they're saying. For me, I kind of feel like trust kind of almost like hits that home just a little bit. At least for me, it does.
Yes.
Why did you cease to trust me?
I don't know. There's a lot that we could probably say regarding that.
Yeah.
About that continual doubt that we have.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be a lot of belaboring the point.
It would be belaboring the point a bit. It's something that I think that we all just need to reflect on.
Definitely.
It's like so quickly we're willing to go against Adam, go against Peter, go against the Israelites, go against all these people like Thomas. Oh my goodness. I hate that we call him Doubting Thomas. Yeah. Do we not realize that he was the first apostle, at least in the written?
The hardest apostle, like the hardest line in the Gospels to me.
My Lord, my God.
That, but not even that. Let us go up to Jerusalem so that we may die with him.
Oh my goodness, both. Both lines, my goodness. I get why he's called Doubting Thomas, but come on.
Yeah.
Let's go up and die with him. I mean, they don't, but at least
that's the mindset.
That's the mindset. Right? And then, my Lord, my God, I remember correctly, he's one of the first, at least written wise, of the apostles who just outright say, "You are God."
Yeah.
Of course, maybe they said it earlier. It wasn't written.
And they mentioned we're about to get to one of those lines.
Yes. Yeah. But like not even just like calling him like the Son of God, just saying, "No, you are." Right. Like not even just like specifying that you are son of, or like.
Not specifying the person of the Trinity of which he is.
You are him.
You are Yahweh.
You are him. Yeah. Like that is a bold statement. Bold statement. And it's so casual you just forget that statement from him. Dude has dropped some fire lines.
Yeah.
Verse 32. When they got into the boat, the wind ceased. Yeah. When they got in the boat, the wind ceased.
When they were saved, chaos could not touch them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like Jesus is the second he was in there, that mere man ark became like the divine ark because his presence was there.
Right.
That little ark, is now fully protected. Not even just like struggling to survive.
Yeah,
is fully protected.
Yeah.
Of which, as you mentioned in the Mark passage, when it even tries to strike when he is there.
Mm-hmm.
Rebukes the wind, which is still boggles my mind. Rebukes the wind in the sea, and then it goes silent. In God's presence, there is peace, and there is salvation, there is protection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when they got in the boat.
Which then, again, I want to return to that, the idea that I put forward very briefly, that this is a picture of salvation, obviously, which means that this is also a picture of hell. You know, there's a lot of speculation and debate on the exact nature of hell, and we're not going to answer that question tonight.
No,
but
that's a whole nother.
That's a whole nother thing.
It's a whole series of its own.
Given the descriptions that we get, right? It's the lake of fire. It's outer darkness, and I truly believe in this passage, this is another picture of hell. It is wind, it is storm, it is chaos.
Yeah.
Hell is chaos. Because remember, it is without God. Hell is the place without God.
Yeah.
And where God is not, there is chaos.
There is darkness. There is the Tehom, the perpetual darkness, destruction.
Right.
Fear.
All of it.
Disorder.
Torment. right? All of these words that Matthew uses to describe the event that the disciples are experiencing, all of these words are words that are used to describe chaos and are used to describe hell. Matthew is saying Christ saved us from hell. Not in the literal sense of that they were literally in hell at that moment.
What kind of people say like hell on earth type of thing,
right?
Ish.
Right. This is as close as they got to it.
Yeah.
Right. Because they were fully in chaos, and then as soon as they enter the Lord's presence, the chaos is gone. I find that fascinating.
This whole thing's fascinating.
Right. Yes. But I find that particularly fascinating because it's Matthew giving this peek into what life without God is like.
It's really,
in which case it isn't life. It's just chaos and torment and death.
It really is almost the entire biblical narrative wrapped up into one thing, which is there's chaos. Man is in the chaos. Man looks over to the chaos. Only one person, only one being, one person can take them out of that chaos. Only one can save them.
Mm-hmm. Jesus.
And it's the one who came down to walk through it, walk over it.
Right.
Just as he did when he created it. Not created chaos, but created everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it really is like you see the gospel message within this passage. You see the Genesis narrative in this passage. You see the flood narrative in this passage. You see the prophet message. You see all of these things just wrapped up into one. What is this? Like verses
We've
22.
Gotten through 10 verses.
Yeah. So if you include 33 and
11 verses.
11 verses, yeah. 11 verses. Jam-packed. Almost the entirety of the Bible is jam-packed into 11 verses. Here's a challenge. Go share the gospel with someone, telling them about Jesus walking over the water. That would be an interesting...
It would.
That'd be an interesting gospel message to share with someone. I think I found my next sermon.
Dibs.
Verse 33. Let's just wrap it up. And those in the boat worshipped him, saying, "Truly you are the Son of God."
And there is the transfiguration complete as well.
Yeah.
Matthew has set it up. And he has shown that even without visualizing the glory, which is coming, the disciples will see or will recognize Jesus as God.
Yeah.
Because God is apparent even when you can't see his glory.
Mm-hmm.
Just in the way that he rescues you from chaos. And that's where they say, truly, you are the Son of God. Right? And not the Son of God in the sense that we are sons of God.
Yeah.
The Son of God.
Mm-hmm. God
incarnate. The second person of the Trinity. They fully understand this, and that's what they're worshiping him as. Because
they recognize him as
I like you, Josh, but I'm not going to worship you.
Yeah. They recognize him as he's acting as the second power of heaven, which would be the angel of the Lord, who is attributed to as Yahweh throughout. Has the name in him because he is Yahweh. But he's not the same as the Yahweh who talks to Gideon after the angel disappears. Or the one at the top of the mountain.
Yep.
Which is interesting. Now I'm thinking about beginning of this passage and then Exodus. You have the angel of the Lord where it says Yahweh tells him to go up to talk to Yahweh. Yeah. But this time Yahweh goes up the mountain to talk to Yahweh. Mm-hmm. He instead of him commanding people to do it, he just goes up.
Right.
And then he goes out and does this whole thing that fulfills what Moses is talking about. A greater prophet than he. Prophet who can walk on the water.
Right.
go through the chaos, pull people out of the depths of chaos, out from sin into salvation, something that no prophet ever could do because they're just proclaiming that is coming, but they couldn't do it. And here's the one who can.
Yeah.
And he's God.
And because he's God.
Yeah.
That helps.
That helps a lot. My goodness. This is a wild passage. It goes to show again how many passages there just are that just get so overlooked. So overlooked. And there's all this extra layer. You have an entire gospel message in this one passage. 11 verses.
Right.
The whole gospel story.
The whole Bible.
Yeah.
Effectively.
Yeah, the Bible sums up in 11 verses. Man. It's wild stuff.
Extremely so.
Yeah. All right, guys. That's going to be it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed the video format. If you're watching, if you're listening, then, well, you're continuing your normal format. And I hope this was fruitful and beneficial for you as well. A blessing. But if you're watching, I hope this was a blessing. Maybe just to kind of see a conversation. If this made it more engaging at all.
I hope, above all, the blessing that you got was to never just cruise through a passage.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
There is so much contained in every single verse of the Bible. And I mean that literally. Yeah. Even all those boring genealogies.
Oh my goodness.
There is importance in them. There is a reason they are included in divine scripture.
Yeah.
There is more to each and every verse of the Bible. There is a lifetime's worth of study in each and every verse of the Bible.
It's hyperlinked everywhere. Know your Old Testament, know your New Testament. They are going to link each other.
But to cruise through them is to deprive yourself of incredible goodness. You are missing out if you are not thinking deeply and critically about your Bible.
Yeah. Yeah. And then another blessing we hope you received or receiving is encouragement in knowing who your Lord is and what he has done and what he continues to do. And with that,
there is one more blessing.
Okay.
The blessing of liking and
subscribing to our channel. I knew where you were going. It's the second I looked over, I knew that was happening. Oh my!
It is the blessing of liking and subscribing to our channel. It is a huge, bountiful blessing. Some are saying it is the greatest blessing that the Lord has bestowed since his resurrection.
Oh my gosh. I still can't get over the fact that you made that one post saying, hey, we're canceling our live stream.
Yeah.
So to make up for it, we're offering a free subscription
to our channel. You do not have to pay a cent because of how generous we are. We will offer you a totally free subscription to the channel, but this is a limited time deal. So you got to jump on it now. The deal runs out when God returns. So get on it now because you never know when that's going to happen.
With that said, thanks for tuning in, guys. See you, Lord willing, next time. Peace out. I knew you were going that direction.